Hi, I'm Lizzie and this is Laura, and today is day 5 of our cruise on board Costa Diadema. Today is a sea day, so we are looking forward to finding out what Costa Cruises offer as part of their entertainment package during a day at sea.
We're on a 7-day cruise on board Costa Diadema, so if you're interested in finding out more about what we get up to on board this cruise, make sure you subscribe to our channel.
We had already made the decision that we were not going to set an alarm for the morning and try and attempt to have a bit of a lie-in, because we're getting a lack of sleep with all of the entertainment that's happening on board. So we managed a bit of a lie-in this morning, and then we decided we weren't going to bother with breakfast, so we headed down to the atrium bar just to have a drink in the morning.
We sat in the atrium for a little while really and just watched the world go by, and then it was time for the Voice of the Sea. So we'd seen the audition for this a couple of days ago, and now they were doing the final on stage in the theatre.
The way that the Voice of the Sea works on Costa is that there are 6 finalists who have been picked from the audition process. There are 3 coaches that have their spinny chairs.
So the singers who get into the final perform a song on stage, and then they're chosen by a coach. If all of the it works exactly like the TV show, so if all of the coaches have chosen them, span their chair, then they get to choose which coach they want, and then they progress and the coaches choose which of their 2 singers they have go through to the final.
Once there's only 3 singers left in the final, it is then the audience that gets to vote. So there is a little like remote control that you press the button on and decide who the winner is.
We enjoyed watching this once again. The use of all the different languages, I suppose, prolongs it a little bit, but they've got to do it because everybody understands different languages on board. But it was a good concept, really good fun, and it was so interesting to see the different song choices and things like that.
It was also a really good bit of entertainment to have in the middle of a sea day, because sometimes sea days, if there's not a lot on, you can find yourself just sitting around all day. We then went to the buffet restaurant for lunch. One side was very, very busy, and we just walked around the other side where it was a lot quieter and managed to get some food quite easily from there.
On this ship, the food is served to you on the buffet rather than you helping yourself, which means I suppose our buffet plates aren't as messy as usual. And we both enjoyed the food we had for today's lunch. It was a good selection in there, and it was all really tasty.
After we had lunch, we decided just to have a little wander around the ship to see what was happening, to see how busy it was in different venues, to see what it was like outside. We then went and sat in Orlov Grand Bar.
We sat in Orlov Grand Bar for a little while, and Tom and Dom happened to walk past and join us. And then whilst we were sat in there, they started various quizzes, so we got involved a little bit and joined in with those.
The first quiz was a little bit like a memory game where you looked at some images on a screen. The room was split in half, pizza or pasta, and you had to say yes or no as to whether that picture had been in what they'd previously shown. The second quiz was a team quiz, which was all about movies.
The instruction on how to play this game seemed a lot longer in the other languages than it was in English. All we were told was write down the name of the movie. And it was definitely not what we expected. We thought we were going to get little clips maybe on the screen of various films, but actually the entertainments team acted out some sort of charade style, but they were so funny.
It was absolutely hilarious.
We could not stop laughing. It was absolutely not what we expected from that quiz, but we really enjoyed it.
There were a number of teams, including ourselves, that got 10 out of 10 on it.
So pleased with ourselves.
And then basically someone picked a name out of, well, they threw it up in the air and someone picked a name, and that was the team that won.
We've not really got much of an idea what the prize was, but the person that collected it was handed like a Costa wallet, we thought, and inside it there were definitely some earplugs, which we think would be very well used on this ship, but we don't really know what else was in there or what the whole purpose of it was.
We then headed back to the cabin because tonight is elegant night, so we wanted a little bit longer to get ready because we thought we should make a bit more of an effort. Once we were ready, we headed down to dinner in the restaurant.
We ordered our food and we were served our starters. Lizzie had the salmon dish and I had like another ravioli type item. But at this point, I started to feel a little bit unwell and uncomfortable sitting in there. So I had to run out mid-dinner And I think really the dress I was wearing was just too tight. So I had to get changed and come back to dinner after doing that.
I had a starter and a first course today. So I then had some pesto pasta. And then both of us had for our main, it was chicken cordon bleu, which was okay.
Yeah.
Chicken was quite tasty, but it's just the accompaniments you get are getting a bit repetitive.
Yeah. And then I actually cancelled my dessert. I was going to have what they'd called Black Forest, but I just didn't think I could possibly fit it in. So I decided not to have it so that we could, finish our meal after mains. We
then went to Sunset Bar to get a drink from there and just to see again what the weather was like, because it has been very windy while we've been out at sea tonight. And then we popped into Theodora Lounge because there was another quiz going on in there. This time, again, the room was split into half, and it was called the VIP quiz about different celebrities, and there were different things that they were doing in the quiz. But we didn't stay to the end of it. We then walked down to the theatre.
I honestly had no idea what was going on for most of this quiz. I found it really confusing. Even though it was pretty simple, it was just me not being very clever. In the theatre tonight, there was a ventriloquist performing.
He was the winner of Italy's Got Talent, season 5 apparently, but I don't know when that was. His name is Samuel Bolletti, and we weren't 100% sure how this was going to go down.
Yeah, we were a bit apprehensive about how he would be able to do it essentially in multiple languages, but he did do really well at sort of using everybody's language.
Some of the humour would have been a bit out of place in Britain, because there were jokes about cigarettes, and he even lit a cigarette on the stage, which I'm presuming was a prop and not a real one. But considering it was supposed to be aimed a little bit towards children, it just seems a little bit strange that happened to us. We were the only people in the audience that thought that was strange though.
And some of the jokes were a bit lost on us as well, but we did overall enjoy the performance.
We then popped into the casino, which seems to be a little bit of a tradition of ours when it's elegant, formal night. So we never spent very much in there, just had a little go on the slots. I've come out with profit. Laura's lost all her money.
I've spent all the money. We then headed back into the Orlov Grand Bar because there was an event we were really interested in seeing, which was the Officers' Grand Ball. This is something we've never seen on a ship before, where passengers were invited to get up and dance with officers, and it was really well attended.
Lots of people were very eager and keen to get a dance with an officer, and there were also prizes being given out, including somebody winning a model of the ship.
After the dancing with the officers, again, there was more music and dancing in Orlov Grand Bar, and we stayed, joined in with a bit of the dancing and had some more drinks in there and had a really good time.
Again, it was very hot in there, and the dancing added to how hot we felt. When they finished off in there with the bar, etc., we decided to go up and see if it was busy in the nightclub or not.
When we first got in there, there were a really young group in there. There weren't that many people, but as it progressed on, we were saying we think it's the only nightclub where essentially the attendees got older as the night went on and not younger. But it was, again, good fun. We enjoyed some dancing, again, up there, and some drinks. It was very windy. There was an open door, so we enjoyed standing by that for some fresh air.
At about 10 to 2, they shut the bar and said that there was a private party happening, so we were asked to leave. We are so intrigued as to who starts a private party at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then we headed down towards the buffet area where there is the salty beach.
So because I decided I felt ill at dinner, I was now starving, and at Salty Beach they do a selection of different burgers which cost €3.50. It doesn't matter what burger you have, it's the same cost, and then it's €2 for fries. So I ordered a bacon double cheeseburger, which was really, really good. They cook them fresh for you there, and it was nice and hot, really nicely presented as well. You get it in a little box so you can bring it back to your cabin if you want to. Lizzie had a little try too.
Far better quality than what you would get from the grill in the daytime.
Yeah, it was worth the cost, and absolutely, I would pay for that again if I needed it.
Overall, we enjoyed the sea day. We enjoyed being able to have a bit of a relax in the morning and not be so hectic.
The elegant night on board Costa Diadema was fun and enjoyable, very lively on board the ship as usual, but we did notice that the dress code wasn't observed very well across the ship. So there was a real wide range of what passengers were wearing. We even saw fancy dress, which seemed a little bit wild for a formal night.
So you had people wearing tuxes and quite elegant dresses, down to people still wearing shorts and t-shirts like they'd just...
And bum bags.
like they'd just been wearing it all day. So if you want a cruise line where dress codes aren't as strict, then Costa must be the line for you.
Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a like down below, and also make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on social media. We're Sisters on the Seas.